This is Real Estate Agents Driving in Cars Looking at Mansions, sorta. And today we're gonna drive in a little teeny tiny car. We're gonna hear an incredible story from a guy who everybody loves, Fred Martinez. He just went through, well, after 46 years in the business, he went through the single most difficult transaction he's ever had in his entire life. And it involved $250,000 e-fraud. I can't believe he kept the deal together. It's an incredible story. You're gonna really enjoy Fred. You're gonna enjoy the story. But since this is the car part, I thought I would introduce you to today's ride, which is a 2017 Fiat 500e, 83 kilowatt horsepower engine, 111 horsepower, and a 90-mile range. Now, I had a Tesla that had like insane torque, super fast. It had like a 300-mile range. We might not make it today. I think we only have 80 miles charged on here. That would be cool. But unfortunately, after I just started working here in North Orange County, somebody rear-ended my Tesla on the freeway, so my Tesla crashed. But one of the cool things is, when I started here, they installed electric chargers, and there's actually 3 of them here at the office for people with electric vehicles. So it's kind of cool. You come on down, charge your car for free to you. We pay for it. But this is the cool car we're going to be taking today with Fred. And let's go inside now and get Fred and hear the story. So here we are. I assure you, Fred does not know that we're gonna grab him. Usually I can just see his head poking over this. Let me see. Yeah. There's his hand. Okay, we're gonna grab Fred. Fred! Oh. I scared Fred a little bit. Well, Fred, yeah. You're going to be on the show today.
I'm ready.
Or you're going to tell me the $250,000 e-fraud story. You ready?
Absolutely.
Okay, we're going to drive in a car that I know you've never been in before. It's a little tiny electric clown car.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
great.
Are you ready? Do you need to?
I'm ready. Let's
you
go.
Want to shake my hand? Okay.
Yeah. Let me just get my phone.
All right. Here we go.
Fun.
Come on out. So Fred.
Yes.
46 years in the business.
Yes.
You want to talk about that at all?
Well, there's been a lot of ups and downs, like any other real estate agent.
Are you good at walking backwards and talking? All right, well here it is.
All right, cool.
We're going to take a 2017 Fiat 500e, and like I do for everybody on the show, male or female, I will open the door for you. Whoops. Whoops. There it is.
Cool.
All right, we're gonna go see a mansion today. Actually, we're gonna see a real mansion.
Great.
And you're gonna tell us the story in the car. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Ah! You've never been in an electric car, have you?
Never, no.
So, you remember when I had the electric car, or you don't even remember that?
Sure.
Yeah, well, I crashed it. And remember they installed...
Tesla.
I had the Tesla. Crashed.
Right.
Freeway.
And you had all these electricals put in just for you.
Well, they did that for me, just for me.
Right.
That's
yeah.
right. So, because of that, a bunch of people got electric cars so they can charge their cars at the office now.
For free.
Well, yeah, on our tab.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. So, the little sound. This one has an 83 or 85, now I can't remember. But I think I wrote it down. An 83 kilowatt horsepower engine. Yeah, 83 kilowatt horsepower engine. Or 83 kilowatt motor. It's 111 horsepower.
So how many miles can we go?
80.
80.
So it's going to be a tight fit here today. Never do!
right. Okay.
I'm gonna get some AC on her, I think, on us. But the real purpose of today, besides seeing a mansion and seeing our agents and saying hi, is visiting with you. And I wanted to hear, so I ran that little video. I knew what was going on. We were working through this horrible e-fraud experience that you went through. We were working together.
Right.
It was, I mean, I don't think you've ever smoked cigarettes, but you were a guy outside sweating on the phone.
Yes.
I was worried about you every day, and I was like, you know, he's probably gonna, I expected to drive up and you'd have a bottle of vodka and a pack of cigarettes.
I was ready to drink.
You were ready to drink.
Yeah, I was. Many a day.
So it was tough, and we lived through that, and I asked you every single day, what can I do? And you just, you know, you were like, oh my God. So what happened?
Well, we were ready to close escrow. Loan was approved. We were actually behind time on escrow, so had a seller who was a little uptight. But my buyer got approved, and he was going in on July 8th to sign his loan docs. We were going to fund, record the same day. I talked to him on Thursday and told him that he needed to get his funds into escrow on Friday just to make sure, so we would have the funds ready when he went in to sign.
Yep.
So he wired $250,000 into escrow on Friday. Monday morning, he walked into escrow to sign loan documents, and the escrow officer asked him about the funds for his down payment.
I wired him.
And he said, I wired him. I wired him on Friday. And she said, well, I don't have any record of it. Where did you wire it? And he said, well, here, I got an email from you on Friday morning stating where to send the wire to. And she looked at the email and she said, that was not from me.
Okay, so let's stop right here in this story. There's a couple of things I want to talk about.
All right.
So the rules for real estate agents, and you're 46 years in the business, right? So you've, I mean, back in the day when you started, there was horse and buggy fraud.
Yeah.
Well, don't make,
not quite.
I don't want to have a lot of
that's okay.
ageism on the show. I make myself laugh.
Yeah.
So you've seen all sorts of different types of fraud, and I guess we've been talking about loan fraud for years, but this e-fraud is fairly new for us.
Yes.
And what these guys will do, so here's the rule. Escrow will send instructions to a client, right? One time.
Correct.
In the beginning.
Yes.
And then a client, what we're instructing our clients to do is to literally call or visit, face-to-face or voice-to-voice, that escrow company and confirm that that is the account number and those instructions are from them. Those are the rules, right?
That's right.
So then for anybody watching, what happened is your guy did that, and then when initially he did that.
That's correct.
And then he got another email.
Yes.
And he thought to himself, this is where the fraudsters get us. He thought, oh, they're just sending revised, let's say, instructions.
Exactly.
And he didn't think twice about it, but you did specifically tell him to call and verify, and he ignored that? Is that right?
Well, actually what happened, he called me on Friday morning and asked me about the wiring. And I said, Daniel, we don't get that information anymore. Escrow companies do not want any of that information out because of wire fraud, because of the fraud, what's happening today. So I don't have that information. You need to call the escrow officer and confirm.
So you said that, which is the exact right thing to say.
Yes.
And he ignored you.
Well, no, he called. Unfortunately, escrow was not open that day. And
I don't know if that counts as calling. He called and didn't get through.
Well, he called and didn't get through. Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so he just proceeded and went ahead and wired the money.
Okay, so now let's talk about what actually happened to that money. So some bad guy, figures out the escrow company. It makes it look just like their instructions. They send it, and they have their own account they're putting in there. And so your guy sent the money, and where did this money actually go to? Where was the criminal?
Well, the criminal was in SunTrust Bank.
Yeah, you can say this is not a very famous show. You can name all products.
All right, good.
You can swear if you want.
Good. It went to SunTrust Bank in Tennessee, and it actually had a name on the account. And so when the escrow officer told him that she hadn't received the funds, of course, she right away said, you probably sent it to a fictitious person, okay, or whatever. So she said, you need to call your bank immediately and stop the wire, reverse the wire. And then you need to go to your bank in person, okay, and talk to them. So at that point, I received a phone call from the escrow officer telling me what happened.
Got it.
And honest to God, my heart went down to my knees.
Yeah.
I just sat there. I could not believe this was actually happening.
What about your client? I mean, did he jump off a bridge?
Well, my client, fortunately for him, he went directly to his bank and he filed an FBI report immediately. And they called SunTrust Bank, and the funds were in this account. And SunTrust froze the account.
So the bad guy didn't get the money.
Correct.
Okay, so now we're like into the maybe second half of the story. Now,
right. Now
the money's frozen in Tennessee.
That's correct.
Your client still wants to buy the property.
Absolutely.
He's needs therapy at this point, but he's making it.
Yeah,
FBI's
he
involved.
needs therapy, and I need therapy.
I saw you every day. You need therapy.
I have to call the agent, the listing agent, and let her know exactly what happened.
And this is where they were really cool. Because of what happened, they actually felt for your client, and they said, we'll give him enough time to figure this out, sort of, right?
Well, not really.
Oh.
Not really. They were very upset. Okay. And fortunately, I was able to settle them down, make them realize that he, in fact, wanted to buy the home. Okay. That there was nothing that would stop him from buying, short of him not getting his money, obviously.
Right.
Okay. So I was able to settle them down, and we proceeded. Okay. Originally, we thought it would take about 2 or 3 days to get the money back. As it turned out, the FBI, he filed the FBI report, he filed the report with the local police department, and once that started, then we were at a standstill. We had communication with SunTrust Bank, but it was limited. Not being a party to the transaction, I was able to talk to his bank for a short period of time, and then beyond that, they would not talk to me. Everything had to go through him.
Okay.
And it was a situation where I was left in the dark, and I was getting phone calls every day.
Yeah, and you know, real estate agents don't get paid at all unless it closes. We, of course, want it to be happy close and everything. So you were working every single day on this.
Yes.
And then when the stress got to you, that's when I would see you out in the parking lot, rubbing your head, and you didn't.
And losing my hair.
Well, hey, come on, we don't do bald jokes on this show. Those have to stop. I got one last time. So, but you stuck with this thing.
We stuck with it.
Like a champ.
My client and I, we got together that day, and we just tried to set up a plan of attack on how we're gonna face this and get through this. And knowing that the money was frozen, we felt that, you know, all along the money would come back and we would get it, but not knowing how long a period of time.
So you were thinking a few days, FBI.
Yes.
You've got him relatively calm, but obviously he's furious, or a multitude of emotions. Now, here's what I'm going to do.
Absolutely.
I'm going to stop the story right here, because we're going to finish the story on the way back. We're going to see 4461 Ohio. Have you been to this house?
No, but I've driven by it. It's down here on the
So I think it just came on, right?
Yes.
1.35. This is on Caravan today. Frank Del Rio's listing. So we get to go in and check out the house. I think it's coming up, isn't it?
Yep.
All right.
Down here on the right, or the left. Excuse me.
Where were you in real estate for the last 46 years? I mean, where'd you start? That's what I meant.
Started with Walker and Lee, Tustin. It was a local.
So you were always North Orange County?
Yeah, always in North Orange County. Yeah. First home I sold was a $29,000 condo in Tustin.
Well, how much?
$29,000.
Was that the average price back in?
Yeah, it was. I worked for Walker and Lee for about 4 months, and then I went to work for Anaheim Hills Realty. We had a condo across the street from Canyon High.
Was every fourth person in California a realtor back then, or was it a different?
No, it was about the same. Yeah.
So it was just like everybody.
Yeah, everybody was in real estate. Yeah,
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
So times really haven't changed.
No, other than the prices.
Yeah, 29,000 to what's the
29,000. That home sat on the market for 6 months and expired. We couldn't sell it. Today, that home is now in the mid fives.
Mid fives.
Mid fives.
Okay.
Yeah. 2 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,000
And so
square
mid
feet.
fives would sell in 9 days right now.
Probably. Yeah. Low.
Yeah.
You know, low to mid fives.
All right. So let's check out this house.
Let's do it.
A piece of additional info here. What were you saying about this house we're going to see?
The client that I sold the home where we had the fraud, I actually came to look at this home for my client, but it wouldn't fit because he buys homes for the elderly. And of course, looking at the entry here with the steps and everything, it wouldn't work for a wheelchair
But it's completely
access.
ironic that this
Yes,
was and part of the
absolutely.
story.
Right.
All right. Well, this is Frank's listing. I don't think we're the first guests. I see people in there. Let's check it out.
Good.
Big house, right?
Well, it's a it's a nice
So we
house.
really haven't even had a mansion
Upscale.
on the show yet.
Hello.
Frank Del Rio.
On the show, Fred.
Maybe it is a mansion.
I was asking Frank, would you consider this a mansion? And he goes, no. And I said, sort of.
In comparison to the last shows, absolutely.
Your show.
Only because
sorry.
my show, I went on a first.
Yeah.
It was like an entry-level house, but in any case,
It's all there was. But today
hey,
there's
Fred, like we've always said, right? To the perfect buyer, every house is their own mansion.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter. So
Thanks so much for stopping by.
You got it, buddy. So you just listed this. Tell us
Yes,
about the
this
house.
is 4461 Ohio Street. Okay, we're in the countryside of your Belinda. You know this. You've been up here a long time, Fred.
Yeah.
4,355 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 5 baths. Each bedroom has its own ensuite. The 5th bedroom that we're using as the 5th is outside. It can be used as a studio apartment. It could be a mother-in-law quarters. It's all decked out. And it has its own access, which is nice. And then as you see, travertine,
Yeah,
amazing kitchen, my whole team in comparison.
Well, take a look around. Or we'll take a look, either one.
Yeah.
And this is the part where it goes and fast forward.
Careful, Fred. Don't fall on the show.
We brought the
Oh my God! I got one of these in my backyard for the kids.
we brought the view out for Fred.
I love it. This is so cool. Dude, thanks for coming
All
by.
right, buddy.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Frank.
Thank you. Appreciate you
One of
guys
the
stopping by.
kings.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you very much.
Adjusting that, and here we are back in the car with Fred after seeing sort of a mansion.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd call it sort of a mansion. Absolutely.
Sort of a mansion.
Beautiful house.
Yeah, it's actually a really
Yeah.
nice house. Okay, so we were in the throes of your story. Where we left off was we were thinking it was going to be a few days. You're going to have this resolved.
Maybe
at-
5 days max.
Right, and then what happened?
And then it just hit a stall. I mean, we couldn't get anything on our end. His bank was communicating with SunTrust. For whatever reason, SunTrust decided that they were not going to release the funds. And to this day, I don't know why or what. Hopefully we will find out, because we will get a copy of the FBI report on the transaction. But it actually took 50 days to close the escrow.
50 days.
50 days beyond our close date.
And you stuck with it. You stuck with him the whole time. You made it happen.
Yes, we communicated on a daily basis, and of course, on a daily basis, I communicated with the agent and the seller, and just convinced them that we are going to close this escrow.
Okay, so where did the money come from if SunTrust...
Well, SunTrust evidently did their due diligence and realized that it was fraudulent, and they did return the money to the bank.
Okay.
And we were able to close the escrow.
And you were just telling me that, of course, this guy is now a client for life, and he's going to be buying another property.
Yes, I sold him a home 3 years ago, and this is his second home in Yorba Linda. And once we closed this escrow, he said, "Okay, Fred, you got to start looking for another home for me in Yorba Linda." So he's a great client.
Good job. You deserve it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna wrap up the show, and I want you to tell us what you learned, and then give absolute, now from experience, a horrible experience, the experience turned good, the rules that realtors should follow. So what did you learn?
Well, obviously, number one, the client is never to wire any money without talking to the escrow officer and prior to sending the money.
So I'll give you a test question here.
Okay.
Because I even checked on this. Once a client gets an initial email, will escrow email them again?
No.
With different revised wiring?
No.
They will not?
Absolutely not.
Will escrow call them, or another person call them, like a title person or somebody else call them with revised escrow instructions?
No.
They will not?
Absolutely not.
So what else?
Well, the main thing is, to me, is, as I said to Daniel, my client, I said, don't ever in the future send a wire without confirming who you are sending the wire to, and that person,
and the account number,
and make sure that you talk to that person prior to them pressing the button to send the wire.
Right.
Because that person is the only one.
And it seems so easy.
Yes.
It seems so simple.
Yeah, it's...
Why are people getting confused then?
Well, you know, in his situation, he got an email with her name on it, and that's
their logo,
name on
their logo and everything, and all the stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And he just thought it came from her.
Right.
And he didn't question it.
So the thieves are masters at their own trade.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And we were so fortunate that the money was not taken out of that account immediately.
Well, that's an amazing story. I am glad it turned out this way, because all of those days, for 50 days in a row, I would check on you every day. And I mean, I would come in going, oh my God, I hope today is the day, because you had left just worried, destroyed, and I'm sorry that happened to you. I do want to say this though, you know, there's probably a couple thousand realtors up here in North Orange County, and you might be the most loved realtor in North Orange County.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Fred Martinez, and you know it.
Yeah, well,
you know that.
Well, I appreciate that.
So I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Hey, my pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed the car.
I did, and hopefully an agent or two out there will learn from what happened to me. It doesn't happen to them.
Absolutely. Thanks, Fred.
Good selling.
Give me a big hug while we're driving.
Yeah.
All right. So check out this episode. He's telling us the $250,000 e-fraud story.
I love that story. When you said that the first time, it was
He doesn't love this story.
No,
I love it now.
I love it now, yeah. At the time, it was like, oh my God.
Yeah, no.
But how you went through those challenges and still made it out on the other side. I mean, that's why that's what it is business.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, you guys.